Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Do want to mention a couple of things here that I think are really important. Our ongoing series of our official podcasts produced by Colleen Mullen over there at priceofbusiness.com gets better and better, recognized now by iTunes for being new and noteworthy. And we're glad to have her a part of our family. She was our first official podcast other than the rebroadcast of the Price of Business program. And we were really delighted with that choice of having her and the footprint that she's already had. She also has a great free download called 100 Tips for Living a Happier and Healthier Life. And Julie Braun has a great article over there. She's with Super Interns on the importance of brand storytelling. Check that out over there at priceofbusiness.com. All right, our next guest, someone I've been looking forward to, David Scott. He's Chief Marketing Officer at Gigya Inc. And his website, though, is scottonmarketing.com. And glad to have you on the program, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your story before we get into our topic.
Gosh, well, I've been a chief marketing officer, head of marketing for about 20 years, focusing on demand generation. So I've done it so many times that I wrote a book on it called The New Rules of Lead Generation.
Yeah, very good. And you also do, is it a podcast or a radio broadcast?
Yeah, so we actually do a podcast which is distributed over a couple of radio stations called CMO Radio, and the whole focus on it is we sit down with heads of marketing in various companies like Mary Kay or the House of Blues or Texas Instruments even, and we talk about issues that face executives within that marketing role.
Yeah, that's interesting. How long have you been doing that?
Just this year. So it's a brand new program. Season 1 will be coming out in the next 90 days, and we're really excited about the types of people that we have on the show.
And where are you podcasting from? Are you using SoundCloud? What are you using as your platform? Yeah,
right from the studio. So we actually broadcast out of KBHK out of Santa Cruz, California. It's very fun.
Oh, and does it air on that station as well?
It does. It will as well. Yes.
Yeah, very good. Congratulations. So, tell us about the book.
Yeah, so it's this is a lead generation book. So I went to business school and I was so sad about the fact that there was no classes on this. Right, all the classes were on branding and the 4 Ps and all the other good stuff. But what this book really does is it teaches both the strategy and the tactics behind bringing hand raisers into your business and getting them to close business and then make them happy customers over time.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about how that looks.
Yeah, well, I mean, what we talk about is that there are 7 tried and true lead generation tactics, and so we go through each one of the different tactics. And then within each tactic, we go through all the different components of what makes it successful. The more important part of the book is we actually talk about analytics, because that which was not measured does not get improved. So we talk about how you can successfully and confidently measure the success of these campaigns so that you can go back to your boss a little bit later on and say it's working or it's not working.
Okay. So do you have that list in front of you of the 7?
Gosh, I know it by heart. So
good. Well, that's good. It's risky to always ask that. So I write a lot, so I'm not sure if I can keep track of everything I even write. But tell us the 7 real quick.
You want to kind of put me on the spot, but let's do it. So, one of them is social media marketing. Another one is search engine marketing or PPC. Cold calling, believe it or not, is a really good one. Trade shows is coming back as a medium. Display advertising is a great one. Email marketing, of course, which has been the workhorse of B2B marketers for a long time. And then the last one, and one that I actually really get excited about, is direct mail marketing, which has a comeback as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's gotten a comeback. First of all, it really requires a lot of creativity. I mean, ridiculous
You got
creativity. And then it requires the, maintaining some of the old school ideas of making sure that stamp looks like a real stamp and not one of those little pink, ink stamps across there. And you need to make sure maybe it looks like an authentic handwritten letter, or maybe like a newspaper article that's really not a newspaper. I mean, you got to get really creative with that, don't you?
Yeah, well, 2 tips, right? Number one is the reason why I'm excited about it is because it turns out they did a study, and they found out that people spend more time looking at mail these days than they do email. An average person spends 5 seconds looking at an email before they trash it, and the same person spends between 35 and 45 seconds looking at a piece of mail before they trash it. So you just get more consideration time. But the thing that people are doing, which I find to be really fun, that's truly innovative, is they're doing what's called a direct mailer or a dimensional mailer. Instead, if they know that they want this customer, instead of just sending them an envelope, they'll actually send them a gift, and the gift will be perfectly branded, handwritten letter, shipped to them via FedEx or UPS. What ends up happening is no matter how high that person is in the market, in that company, everyone likes to receive a box and open it up, right?
Yep, no question about that. And as long as there's something in there, they're going to be interested.
Hear, hear.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I like that. And what I find most interesting about that 7 list is that it is none of those are intrusive. In other words, I didn't hear, unless I missed something, old school telemarketing, which I think actually alienates people rather than builds relationship.
Yeah, cold calling is the closest to old school telemarketing, but, the reality is no one wants to get a phone call unsolicited. I hate it. Yeah. I mean, even if it's somebody I ask to return my phone call, if I don't know who they are in the first 10 seconds, I get frustrated. And even when I talk about the concept of cold calling in the book, I really talk about the concept of warm calling. And that means, there's this concept in marketing called integrated marketing where you do a 1-2 punch. So it's about, first you send them a direct mailer, then you send them an email, and then in the email you say, hey, I'll give you a call in a couple of days. And so then when you do give them a call, you're like, hey, remember me? I sent you that gift. I sent you that email. And it's much more warmer than just calling out of the blue and asking them if they've got time. Yeah, no question about it. Let me ask you, tell me a little bit about your clientele, particularly for your marketing firm. So with Scott on Marketing, we tend to, I do speaking engagements, obviously, and I'm happy to talk to any company from a B2B or B2C component. And then I'm also working on a book on small business marketing, so taking these concepts and bringing them to small businesses, in order to sort of teach these lessons so that you can do them for under $100 a day. Okay, very good. So it sounds like your primary clientele, small to medium-sized businesses. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would that be, yeah. And I would assume someone like you has a pretty substantial list of clientele as well, and people on your newsletter, that type of thing. What kind of reach do you have? You know what? Not as large as I'd hoped. So as you mentioned earlier, I'm also the CMO of Giga, which is a venture-backed startup. We do social login and customer identity management. So that's my full-time job. But what I do is I tend to write. So I actually have a monthly column in Chief Marketer magazine, as well as a quarterly column in Wharton magazine, which is my alma mater. And then through that, I'm always happy to sort of help and consult and talk to folks and get the reach. All right. Thanks so much for being with us. Great interview, and look forward to hearing more about what you do in the future. And check out ScottOnMarketing.com. That's SCOTT onmarketing.com. David Scott, thanks for your time, buddy. All right. Thank you. When we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.